Good evening. Today's episode of Comicgeddon is brought to you by Comicgeddon, where all geek culture collide. Isn't that lovely? Don't be afraid of the birds. They won't hurt you much.
Hey guys, welcome to News in a Flash Comicgeddon style. We're your hosts. I'm Shannon.
I'm John Wise.
And this week for News in a Flash, we didn't really have a whole lot of news.
Not a lot. Comic-Con kind of came and went, and so did I, and so
It's kind of been, it's a really slow week since all the news came up at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some more news at Chicago.
Maybe.
But...
something we didn't have originally planned. I looked it up today real quick here. Batman animated voice actor Jason O'Mara. I'm not sure which Batman animated he's done, but he's joined the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. In an unspecified part, but apparently it's a character whose Marvel roots go back to the 1940s. So maybe he was part of one of the original Howling Commandos.
Maybe. Or maybe
was there one we didn't get in the movies?
I don't think so. Maybe he's the original Nick Fury.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
No. Let's get it straight. The original Nick Fury will always be the Hoth. With his, magical eye patch that switches sides. Alright,
so for news, we got a lot of Supergirl in the news this week.
We got our first appearance of Superman.
Yeah. What'd you think of the new costume?
The costume I don't mind too much. It looks alright. I hope they hide the shin guards a little bit. I think those were there specifically so he can do the knee thing drops. I don't think they're going to be there.
I didn't really care for those clips for the cape.
I don't mind.
The cape should be just like Supergirl's. It was tucked into the collar.
Yeah, okay. He's more experienced. He deserves a fancier outfit. I don't know if I care for the guy playing him though.
The super brow.
I don't know. He has more of a chiseled Batman look than he does.
Yeah.
I mean, than he does Superman.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we're getting a live action Batman, a live action Super. We are getting a Batman eventually, but I'm just happy we're getting a live action Superman to where we can tune in every week and go, oh, it's Super. We don't have to wait for the next movie.
Yeah.
So I do say kudos for that.
What do you think of that fan art of Matt Damon as Green Arrow?
If he were to join the DC cinematic universe, I think he could pull it off.
On comicbookmovie.com, someone actually did some fan art.
Yeah, I saw
it. He looked really good. It just needs the goatee.
I want to see the Ollie goatee.
Yeah.
I want to see the Arrow tee.
The Arrow tee.
If Batman can have a bat tee, I think Tank doesn't have a bat.
Also, for Supergirl news, season 2, we'll see the return of Callista Flockhart.
Yes, the stick is returning. I mean, Callista Flockhart is turning.
I know you were concerned about that because there was some things online, save Callista or whatever.
There was a bunch of people who were afraid because it was going to be shot somewhere else, and she didn't really want to. I guess she didn't really want to keep moving the film. I guess maybe they found a way around that, or I wasn't sure what the deal was. Yeah. But they did manage to get Flockhart back, and awesome. I can't wait to catch up on season 1. Is it on Netflix yet? I know it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I believe so.
So I need to go back and catch up on.
And I think it is on Hulu also.
Okay. When does the season 2 start? Do you know? Next month?
In August, I think.
This month. This is so cool.
Maybe September. I'm not sure.
I know Gotham returns next month because I have Catwoman, Selena, on my Facebook, and she's really good. She always posts cool pictures of like her normal friends. Yeah. So, but she said it was next month.
Cool.
They're in the middle of filming now.
If Supergirl does return, if any of the CW shows do return in August, it'll be the end of August.
And there'll be 1 week. It'll be the normal schedule. It'll be Monday Supergirl, Tuesday Flash, Wednesday Arrow, Thursday Legends of Tomorrow, Friday can we get Constantine, please?
There you go.
I know we have Justice League Dark coming out, and I think he's coming back to voice Constantine. Yeah. So can we get a Constantine for that way we have DC week.
Or maybe even Vixen live action, because I haven't really got to see the CWC.
You know what I like to see? All right, since we're getting Superman and Batman and Batwoman and Oracle, we have Green Arrow, we have Flash. Can we get a Justice League TV series? That would be cool. And then talk about still bringing...
Or maybe even being able to do Green Lantern right for a change and a Green Lantern TV series. Then they
seems he's been omitted from the first fucking movie. Fuck you, asshole.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Oh, it pisses me off.
Also in Supergirl news, Supergirl is going to be the focus of the 4-show crossover coming in December on the CW. Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and DC's Legends of Tomorrow.
She'll be on all 4 episodes. Yeah. So.
She's going to be the focus because she's out of her. She'll be out of her universe. I think that since Flashpoint isn't going to last the whole season,
which we just found out as well, as probably last maybe half.
I think halfway through is when Flashpoint will probably end in December when they do the 4-show crossover.
It'll be like a mid-season finale.
That's probably how they'll bring Supergirl into the main continuity.
Yeah. Spider-Man Homecoming, we've just announced that Tyron Woodley?
Something like that.
As UFC champion.
Former UFC champion.
Former UFC, who's joined the Spider-Man Homecoming cast as an, again, undisclosed character.
And Michael Keaton will be the Vulture.
Michael Keaton will be, I think we went over that last week, but yeah. Something else we may or may not have went over last week, we also have been confirmed that Ego is going to be none other than
Kurt
Russell.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Patrick Swayze. That'd be a neat trick. That'd be a neat trick.
You know, growing up, I always got those two confused anyway. Kurt Russell was the poor man's Patrick Swayze.
I don't know why I got those two mixed up.
Yeah.
That'd be a neat trick, though. Hello, hold on. Is this
That's probably Chris.
Guest? Nope, it's my pretty girl. It's my Cindy.
Also, we finally got our first glimpse of Shiva the Tiger and King Ezekiel for next season's Walking Dead.
Which does come back in October.
Yes.
Now for Halloween, which is sad because the first time this show doesn't come back around Halloween. No, actually it does come back in September. And I think Fear the Walking Dead comes back this month.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're not getting a Halloween premiere.
Which I don't know. Why can't shows do the fall debut or start the fall season in August like they used to back in the 90s? And we actually had the series took up full season. There wasn't all these
interruptions. They filmed the whole thing, and then the actors got like half a year off from filming. They could go do movies or whatever. But now it's so hard for them to do anything other than that show because they're like, okay, we're going to film half now. You got like a month or two off. Then we're going to film the rest of it because there's going to be it's...
Here lately I've been watching...
I'm okay with shows like Walking Dead and Ash vs. The Evil Dead debuting in October because those are horror and Halloween. I want to go into this rant a little bit too real quick again. Where the hell are Halloween movies?
Yeah.
When was the last time we had maybe one movie come out in October, roughly around Halloween? Usually it's like the first or second week of October, and then by the time Halloween shows up, it's gone or forgotten. We used to get like
for what was it like? For 7 or 8 years, we had the Saw series every year.
That was the only thing we had.
Halloween, yeah.
And then we had Paranormal Activity, which again, we're not getting any yearly like we did. Like them or not, there were horror movies that came out around Halloween. Yeah. It was in the spirit.
But they are going back to the original Halloween franchise.
Yeah, we did something I think we need to discuss on another episode.
Actually, let's go ahead and discuss it now.
Well, let's do finish.
Okay.
We'll add it. We'll add it to the rest of the things in film.
Yeah, well,
let's do this part 2 last, because I'm going on a major fucking rant now.
Which one of G or R? Okay.
What G? Oh, that?
Yeah.
I don't care about that. I'm okay with that. That.
All right. Ghostbusters.
Hold on, I gotta find my spot. You'll love me. Okay.
Ghostbusters 2
case you didn't watch last week's episode.
Ghostbusters 2 Squared has been greenlit.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of slack because I'm actually not a big fan of the movie, but I'm a fan of the movie.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun. I'm a guy who can take a joke. I understand guys are assholes. I still say
Hey, you know
shots to the nuts is always funny.
You know, the funny thing is, before I had debated on this before.
We talked about this when we reviewed the movie. They were probably gonna do this.
Before the movie came out, I thought about getting a Holtzman action figure because they had plenty of them in stock. Now that the movie's come out of stock everywhere. Even GDFans.com is out of stock on Holtzman action figures. They've got
the figures in general,
other
because before the movie even came out, they went on clearance.
Mm-hmm.
And something I was kind of upset about because they were selling, and I did a review about those buckets of slime they were bringing out. Before the movie came out, Walmart had knocked them down from $10 to $7. And I was going to pick up the pink slime because it reminded me of the Ghostbusters too. I went back and they took it off of clearance. So luckily I went back and they put it back on clearance. It was $5. It was $5. So I waited.
Nice.
But there was only like 2 left.
Nice.
So yeah, I got my purple slime.
I'm still trying to find an Egon and a Winston action figure.
I got an Egon.
Oh yeah.
I got Egon. I found Winston, but I didn't get him.
I've got Peter and I've got Ray.
I have Egon. I do have Egon. These Ghostbuster figures. As soon as I'm able to get all 4 Ghostbuster figures, the new ones, the $20.
Because you need to have all 4 in order to create the no ghost symbol.
Yeah, I'll do a review on it. Because I definitely plan on getting it.
And I think I will start getting the new Ghostbusters figures. Walmart has Aaron. They've got Melissa McCarthy's character. They had one.
Everyone wants a Holtzman. It's just cute.
Yeah. And before the movie came out, they had plenty of them in stock. I was gonna get them, but I decided not to. The movie comes out, they sell out.
I was waiting till I liked to find out if I liked the movie.
That's the same with me.
And because I did that with Super Mario Brother figures before the movie came out, and the only thing I'm glad about those action figures, I have a Dennis Hopper action figure. Because the Koopa figure actually looks like Dennis Hopper, so I have a Dennis Hopper action figure.
But let's go back. We kind of skipped over this. We kind of mentioned it briefly, but
I don't even think we mentioned this.
Shiva the Tiger
sorry.
on The Walking Dead.
Yes.
We finally got to see.
More again, sidetrack.
Yeah. We finally got to see Shiva. I know a lot of us were worried on if they were going to bring Shiva onto the TV series.
Those who don't know, it's a tiger.
Yeah.
It's an actual big ass fucking tiger.
Yeah.
Something that's got to be CGI.
In the trailer, she was fucking huge.
It's got to be either a puppet or CG. Because you bring this big fucking tiger onto the set of a show with a bunch of scary ass looking people in costume. This thing's gonna make them look like they do in makeup. This thing's gonna get scared. So I don't know how they're pulling this off. But kudos for Walking Dead to actually go through with it.
And King Ezekiel looks like he was taken straight
out of the comic book.
Also, JSA in the Legends of Tomorrow is going to be set in the 1940s.
So the Hour Man that we got in the last episode is from the 1940s, and we're supposed to get I think Starman. There's a list of the ones we're actually supposed to get. They announced that along.
They need to bring in Dr. Fate, but not have the same costume as Smallville's Dr. Fate, because
there was nothing wrong with that costume.
It sucked. It was too bulky.
It was taken straight out of the comic book. It just didn't look like.
No, it wasn't. It was not taken from the comic. I don't recall Dr. Fate ever wearing armor on his chest. He's a sorcerer,
It looked better than the other characters' costumes.
I liked.
What would you prefer him to wear? A hood and a pair of sunglasses, like every other JLA character that was on there? Thank you. My point's been proven. I love Smallville. Don't get me wrong. I followed every single episode religiously, practically. But I know where his faults were, and
I tried rewatching the last season about a year or so ago, and it has my wife and I call it the Webster effect.
Oh, by the way, also on antenna TV.
Yeah.
Webster. Sorry.
Hulu has it too, I believe. But we call it the Webster effect because when you go back and try to rewatch something from your childhood or something, and it's nowhere near as good as it used to be.
Childhood? It was 2001. How old do you think I was? Not looked, was.
I know. Yeah, I mean, that was my senior year of high school, was 2001.
I was still in my 20s.
So, but let's go on with our final piece of news that
right.
John and I'm not really too happy with either.
So, it's been announced that it's not a sequel, I don't think.
No, it's going to be a sequel.
It's going to be a sequel?
Yeah.
Is
It's
it
supposed to
gonna
take place like 4 or 5 years after the original.
So that adds even more to my rant. Okay, so the fans who have been waiting years, at this point generations, because it's been so long since we had one.
It's been over 20 years, right?
Yeah, Disney has given us The Rocketeer 2.
And the original movie actually stands the test of time. I went back and tried
watching. It's a period piece.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched it
piece.
just a few years ago. And
40s.
Yeah,
30s,
during
40s.
During World War II.
Okay. So,
because it has a thing, because the Nazis are
it's based on the old,
the pulp comics.
The pulp comics, all right? So the character, now, again, pretty good fan of Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters film. But it's getting, and we're just going to come out and say, the new Rocketeer is going to be a black female. Does not bother me that it's going to be a black character.
There's nothing wrong with if it was in our time period.
It's not. Yeah, if it's in our time period, it would work. The period that it's going to take place in, which is then probably World War II or just after World. I mean, don't get me wrong. The idea is appealing. The fact that she might have to wear this helmet, but it's it's not being done for the right reasons.
Yeah.
It's being done because it's the in thing to do now. Because I just read last night, now they're remaking Splash, the movie Splash, which I knew they were doing, but they're gender swapping that movie.
And Channing Tatum's going to be a mermaid.
Channing Tatum's going to be the mermaid. Now we're gender swapping movies just to gender swap movies, and it's becoming more of. And not only that, I'm for that. I was for that for a long time, if it made sense, and if it was depending on the movie. And great, the women get eye candy, much like we got the eye candy from the '80s. It's fine, but now it's the fact it's being done pretty much just to be done. They're doing it now for the controversy. They're doing it to stir shit up. They're doing it to piss people off, and they're calling it fair. If you want to do fair, and I've said this online before, let's go ahead and gender swap some of the great female roles too. Then, let's go ahead and make Black Widow a man, and Avengers.
Black Widow,
I prefer not.
Or Freddy Krueger, make Freddy Krueger a woman.
They were talking about that at one point.
Jason Voorhees turn her into Jane Voorhees.
No, I'm talking about let's take some of the female roles and gender swap them into male roles.
Yeah.
How's that? Did that piss you off? That pissed me off too.
Yeah.
Because they're doing it just to fucking do it.
Or take black roles and make them white roles.
Or white roles and and again, it's not the fact that they're doing a black person as the Rocketeer. The Rocketeer, first off, is a guy. Now, if it's a passing of the torch thing,
yeah.
If it's the guy,
if it took place from the 80s,
well, no, I'll even accept this. If you want to keep him in the 40s, fine. If it's the same guy, and he's an older guy, like an old Bruce Wayne passing the torch to Batman Beyond. If it's him passing the torch and helping her out, if it makes sense, fine. That's fine.
But the 40s wasn't really known for its acceptance of women, let alone black people.
Which is why she would have to keep the helmet.
I say black people because they're not African Americans, because most of them never even lived in Africa. They're Americans, period. But
I won't get in too much into gender and race. It's the fact that Hollywood is now basically gender swapping roles to gender swap roles.
Yes.
They're doing it for the right reasons. It's become a trend, and And again, I loved the new Ghostbusters movie. I love the cast of the new Ghostbusters movie. I have no problem with that. We've gone over this. I've even gotten a bunch of shit on Facebook because I liked the movie. And again, there's a few things that need to happen in this new Rocketeer 2 movie to please me as a Rocketeer fan. It needs to be a passing of the torch. It needs to make sense. If they're doing it just to gender swap another, fan favorite character, then because I think that's what really pissed a lot of people off with the Ghostbusters movies. They gender swapped the gender swap. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. They're just saying, oh, reboot, boom. Now, if they would have brought someone like Dan Aykroyd in there, at least Dan Aykroyd or Ernie Hudson, and say, hey, this is our new team, I think it probably would have been more accepted. It probably wouldn't have been so chaotic, probably wouldn't have been so, But they did it, the gender swap just a gender swap.
And I know you didn't really care for Sci-Fi's reboot of The Phantom.
No.
I actually liked it because the way, when I first saw the cover to the DVD, and the new costume and everything, I thought it looked kind of stupid. But in the movie itself, which was supposed to be the pilot episode for a new series,
Which it's so bad it didn't.
But the costume actually made sense. The change, and it looked very similar to the old. There was a lot of honoring the old, but updating.
Okay. And that's the thing with the Phantom. The Phantom, what era did it take place in?
It took place
today.
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Okay, so that would make sense because those of you who don't know the real origin of the Phantom, pretty much the movie pretty much told you the truth. Each male generation becomes the Phantom.
Kit Walker,
for instance, was the one most people are familiar with, and he has to have an heir, a son, to carry on that legacy.
And the son ends up being named Kit Walker, and so he's the ghost that walks.
He becomes the Phantom. Then he has to have another son. They note in there that it's the son, never the daughter. So if they ever decide to do a new Phantom,
there was a comic that I got right here at Geeking Out Comics of the Phantom, where there was a female Phantom for one issue only, because it was.
They didn't have a son.
No, he had a son, but he was injured and he couldn't follow this writer who was reporting a story. So the sister took up the mantle of the Phantom and followed her, but it is a one issue only thing.
Well, the thing is, it's supposed to look like the same character.
Right.
So if they decided to gender swap the Phantom, it wouldn't make sense.
No.
Because that particular character has an origin where it's the son.
Yeah.
Now, Green Hornet is a totally different story. The Green Hornet, if they did a decent Green Hornet movie, the Green Hornet, though it does need to be a male to start, because if it wasn't, I'd be kind of pissed, because Green Hornet was something I grew up on. But if later on they wanted to make the Green Hornet female, I'd be okay with that. Green Hornet wasn't gender specific. In fact, there had been a few issues where Green Hornet had been a female. There was a few issues where Kato was like was his daughter or his niece or something like that. So that's something I'd be okay with. If it makes sense, I'm okay with it. If the Rocketeers are passing the torch to this new female lead character, I'm okay with that. But if it's going to be part 2, but a reboot to where she shows up, oh, now I have the back, now I have the helmet, boom, makes no sense. It's gender swap, just a gender swap. And as a comic book fan, it really, really pisses me off. In fact, a lot of them were really happy that the Captain Marvel was a female character announced past week at San Diego Comic Con.
And besides that, at the end of the first Rocketeer movie,
but a lot of people don't know is Captain Marvel originally started as a guy.
Yeah.
So that role could have easily been passed to a guy. Am I upset about it? No. I was rooting for Ronda Rousey originally as Captain Marvel. So.
But in the original Rocketeer movie, didn't Howard Hughes end up with the Rocket Pack?
I think so.
Anyway. Which, for you geeks out there, Howard Hughes was played by guy from Lost, the bald guy, who regained use of his legs.
I never watched Lost.
You never watched Lost?
I tried, but I got lost.
Turn in your geek card.
No. I mean, geeks say that show would kind of suck towards the end.
Towards the end, yeah. But the show itself.
Heroes at the end sucked.
Yeah.
I even finished watching Heroes. I have them all on DVD, but I never finished season 4. He got to the carnival. There was something with the carnies, and that's all I remember. I never finished.
I actually liked the last episode of Heroes.
I didn't see the watch live. Now I do want to finish watching the reboot they did. And I don't know. Okay, so back to that topic. I don't know if this is coming off right. I don't know if I'm coming off as a sexist pig or a racist bastard. I'm not. I just know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know what should happen, what shouldn't happen. I don't like gender swapping just for the fact because it's a trend now. I'm totally into strong female character leads and characters. Again, like Ghostbusters. I'm a huge fan of She-Hulk. I've been wanting a damn She-Hulk movie forever. I'm just getting annoyed by the fact that now it's a trend to, to do this. If it makes sense, fine. I'm rooting for, I'm excited for Batwoman to join. I'm excited to see Oracle. Strong female lead characters. I don't like, and this isn't even really about gender swapping. I don't like changing things in the comics for the sake of changing them. If it makes sense, do it. If it doesn't, don't.
If you're doing it just to appease a certain group of people, then you're alienate your core fan base.
I mean, and then right there, that right there is why so many people with Ghostbusters upset, because there are so many Ghostbusters fans. Do you not realize how many people are out there who actually own their own handmade proton packs?
I priced them
out. Websites. I can get one for about $2 to $3 grand.
Yeah. However, if you build them yourself, you can buy all the parts. You
just have to be mechanically inclined to put it together.
Actually, you don't even really have to be mechanically inclined because you can buy the
kit.
Yeah,
you can buy a kit.
You can do it for about $500.
I would love to have one. If you know what, if you want to build me one that's movie accurate, I might even pay it because I'm not mechanically inclined. Plus, you probably have the tools. But anyway. I think that's why so many people are pissed off about Ghostbusters, because they basically gender swap the roles just to gender swap the roles. Had they, like I said, say Dan Aykroyd come in, or Harold Ramis, or both, and say, hey guys, we're too old, here's our new group, we need help here, and pass the torch. If it was a pass the torch thing, I think the fans would have been a lot more accepting.
Yeah.
But the fans saw what it was supposed to be. And that's why the backlash. Again, I liked the movie. I don't like the fact they gender swap just to gender swap.
Yeah.
It's not the fact that the original guys were 4 guys and the new one's 4 girls. All 4 girl movie. We did an awesome review. We gave it a 7, somewhere between 7 and 8 grade.
Which they're actually talking that maybe eventually in the third one when they take on Gozer. Bringing the original Ghostbusters in from another dimension to help fight Gozer.
Yeah, which they said the second one was not going to be a dimension swap movie, but it may lead open for that. So
that would be cool.
So again, I don't know how this is coming off on camera. I don't know how much slack we're going to get for this. I honestly don't care.
Of our whole 5 viewers.
Yeah. Well, 1 now probably after this.
Speaking of which, a few weeks ago you told me that you had someone see you at Target who
like months ago.
Who was familiar with you from the show. Would you like to give a shout out to him since we never?
I don't remember her name, but the guy in electronics who came up to me and said, "Hey, you're from Comicgeddon. You watch the show? Hi, thanks for watching." I hope we don't lose you.
Late.
I hope we don't lose you after this episode. So yeah. On that note, I'll be very interested to see the route they go with Rocketeer 2. I'm not going to come out and say I'm not going to see it because they gender swap it. Of course, I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
I have feeling it's probably going to be direct to DVD anyway. Honestly, a lot of their new sequels do. If it does come out of the theater, I'll go see it. I'll give it a chance. And like I said, it may be a really good movie. Maybe surprised. I was surprised with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Stay tuned. We're going to be back. We're going to talk.
Flat, by the way.
We're going to talk about some horror movies, actually. We're going to talk about Halloween returning to the original franchise, not the Rob Zombie franchise. We mentioned that earlier.
We did. I don't remember the article, but I don't know.
We're also going to have a toy review. John's going to review Batman Arkham Knight.
Which, I just want to point this out real quick. Shannon picked the action figure, Batman. I reviewed the Batmobile last week. I'm not allowed to review any more Ninja Turtle stuff, but apparently Batman's, okay.
Well, how many Ninja Turtle toys have you reviewed so far?
I say good day. I say good day.
I was about ready to say you're not going to catch me with that one. Also, game review, Star Trek timelines for the for iPhone and all that from mobile devices. I said no Ninja Turtle toys.
I'm not reviewing it.
All right, and John will come back with a review of the new Star Trek movie, Star Trek Beyond.
Yes.
So this is going to kind of be a Star Trek week. We got a Star Trek Timelines review, Star Trek Beyond review.
I think I know the theme of our next episode.
Star Trek.
I have old Next Generation action figures. I have all the movies, including and TV shows, including the cartoon.
I was kind of waiting to do Star Trek until I can get a uniform.
I have I don't fit in anymore, but I have a Star Trek Data.
I saw the pictures from when you're. But I plus we gotta do a Star Trek episode either on which it's past this year, but
I think
either on First Contact Day or Star Trek Day.
Which is which?
Star Trek Day is I think in September.
We should do it this month. I told you why. That could be the end of the show. We just edit that right.
Yeah.
But it is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, so we definitely have to have a Star Trek episode.
And I think maybe from now on, every year on Star Trek Day, or not Star Trek Day, but on First Contact Day, we may have a special Star Trek related episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. We kind of missed it this year.
A lot going on.
Yeah. Oh, quite a bit going on.
Yeah.
So we'll be back. Stay tuned.